It's been a lot going on. I'm sorry I'm late. I am your girl Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? We are reviewing Snowfall, season number 3, episode number 2, The More You Make. So, you know that I like to go character by character. Honey, Louie seems like this episode, she needs her own little section. So we're going to give her one. But before we get to Louie, let us talk about Gustavo and Reed, okay? So evidently Gustavo decided I'm going to team up with Reed, aka Teddy, to get to the Villanueva ranch in Mexico. Listen, and really the only reason he's doing it is in hopes that Lucia will resurface, okay? He really still loves her and really hopes that maybe this is going to bring him or somehow connect him and Lucia back together. Anyway, so they get to the Villanueva ranch. And it seems deserted. Like nobody's there. It's absolutely silent, quiet. Honey, and all of a sudden, Mama Villanueva comes out, guns blazing. Like, I'ma kill y'all. What the fuck do you want? You know, now listen, it's all in subtitles because they doing what they're supposed to do. Making it realistic. She only speaks Spanish. Espanol. She really wants to know what it is that they want. And Gustavo says who they are. And then Reed interjects and says, we want to make a deal with you. We want to go into business with you. She says, okay, let's talk. Pretty much, he says to her, you would never touch anything. We just want to use your trucks and your routes. The Colombians will supply it. We will pack it, and it's just going to go through your area, and you're just going to receive the money. That's it. That's all. You don't have to do anything else. Well, honey, Mrs. Villanueva, she knows that something is not right with Reed and pretty much tells Gustavo, get rid of the gringo. Come back later and we'll talk further. A woman's intuition is absolutely everything. And I'm all like, yeah, you reading it right. Something ain't right about Reed, girl. So when Gustavo comes back, you know, she will recognize at that point that, oh, you fell in love with her. You know, she wants to know where my daughter is. And he was like, well, she nursed me back to health. I was dying. She nursed me back to health. And then she was like, I need to go find something better. She left him. But really, is she gone? Y'all never answered that for me. Is she gone? Did she get written out of the series? Y'all let me know down below in the comment. I really need to just do some research and find out for myself. Nevertheless, Mama Villanueva says, listen, I'm all for it, but I need 70%. You want to use my routes. You want to use my trucks. 70%. You want to use my people. You want the white man to use my people. It's going to be 70%. Gustavo said, well, the heavy lifting is in the United States. So she goes back and she's one hell of a negotiator. She says for the first 2 weeks, it's 70%. Thereafter, it is 50%. He says it's not a problem. She says make the phone call, sleep here, in that room, pass wherever, go there, and we'll work on it tomorrow. And I'm all like, ooh, she ain't to be played with. Is that her grandmother? The Villanueva farm? Because I remember her mother being, Lucia's mother being a lot younger. So y'all let me know down below in the comments because y'all seem to be up on it and I could trust the information that you guys are providing me. Lorena and her boss meet up and Lorena, I don't like her. Like, can they just write her out? I know that that's the intent of her, is to be the one we don't like, unless you are like, you know, a non-criminal. I mean, I'm a non-criminal. I should really be for Lorena, but I'm not. She meets with the boss and she says, listen, the Colombian drug lord, what was his name? Ringo? Y'all, I don't know. Rigo knew that I was DEA. Reed told him Teddy told him I was DEA, but he had already knew. So you need to be careful. There's a leak. But furthermore, I believe Teddy is going to go into cahoots with the Villanuevas, and I'm going to be able to get their asses after all. Like, she is definitely for herself. He had already said, let me do what I need to do to fund this war. And then once that's done, I will give you every name of every drug dealer, every connection I had, so that you can go bust them. She don't seem like she gonna stick to the plan. They need to go ahead and kill her off. Well, during this time, somewhere up in there, we see the CIA office and we see someone go and visit Teddy's ex-wife. Well, baby, let me tell you something. Teddy gets home after the whole Villanueva farm thing, and after Gustavo sent him away. He's exasperated. He's tired. You know, because he's got to figure out new stuff. There's no more planes. There's, especially with his brother being gone. Did we say his name was Rick? So we have to find other means. But he wakes up because he can feel a presence in the house. Y'all know how that is. If there's a foreign presence or a foreign feeling in your house, you instantly wake up. I can't even, my kids can't even walk in my room like tiptoe without me waking up. So it's a thing. And come to find out, it is his ex-wife, Teddy. It is Teddy's ex-wife. And she pretty much says, listen, we need to regroup. There's an operative that we need to use. He knows all, you know, the routes. The Sandistas know what we're doing and how we're going about. So we need to find new plane routes. And guess what? I'm in. She was really looking really spooked to me. Like, you drew me in this. I have to do this now. But I'm silent, but I'm going to help you. I feel like they're going to be fucking again in no time. Who are the Sandistas? I guess that's the rivals to the Nicaraguans. Right? Now, let's just go ahead and talk Franklin and Leon. We first see Franklin and Leon talking in the car, having a conversation about who Leon and Fatback had just killed the night before. The third guy. He wanted to make sure it was clean because guess what? Andre is on our ass and we need to cross our T's and dot our I's. He's all like, man, it wasn't no, did anybody see you? How am I supposed to know? Because you're supposed to be astute, Leon. If you're going to be a killer, you need to be aware of your surroundings, aware of what's happening. Hello, somebody. You ain't really with the business if you aren't mindful of what's going on around you. Well, while they're in the car, they're actually waiting on Manboy, aka Drew, to show up with his money to hold up with his end of the bargain about being doing business with them. And so in the process, they give a metaphor. He gives a metaphor about being at Fauché and the riot, and how the smart ones didn't mix themselves up, didn't interfere. And remember, you know, he was like, remember that one that knocked the lunch lady out? So it was really a metaphor about their relationship. Like, don't get mixed up in some shit. Don't do the dumb shit. Be the person that's able to walk away clean. At least that's how I grasped it. Now, I could be wrong and y'all can tell me down below in the comments. But I felt like it was a metaphor, like a warning. Like, hey, don't let it be a repeat of what it was before. The smart people didn't get their hands dirty. They weren't involved in it. Make sure it's everybody else, okay? Leon is not trusting of this dude, and neither am I. I don't think you are either. There is something about him that is not sitting right with me, and I'm not understanding why Franklin don't see it, but maybe Franklin is just being really crafty about it. Leon said, so he was one of the people that walked away. He was like, nah, he's the one that knocked out the lunch lady. Like really knowing he's messy and he's always in the mess, and I know what it is. So Franklin really isn't too naive when it comes to Drew. I just feel like he just is real reserved and pretends like, you know, let me get these metaphors. Let me pretend like I don't know what the fuck is going on. Let me pretend like I'm not with the business. But really, I'm very much so. I'm very aware of what's going on and who you are, okay? A little later, we see Franklin go in to Sissy. And she's like, so they came back with a counter offer of $50,000 above the asking price. And we can do it. I just need to shuffle some money around, you know, from the offshore accounts and here and there, etc. And Franklin was like, hold on. I'd rather pay it in cash so that Reed isn't aware of what we had, where our money is and where it's shuffling around at. And at that point, Sissy looks concerned. she looks worried. She looks like he's not saying something, because here we are, you're mentioning Reed again for the second time. So something's not right, and you're not sharing everything about this fella that you should be sharing. Well then, because the phone call was about Ivy being available, so Franklin and Leon go to see Ivy, okay? And pretty much Franklin is like, well, what's going on with you, Ivy? Something don't look right. Ivy looks a little off. He looks a little stressed. He looks a little worried. And he's at the moment like, I'm cool. Well, Franklin just wants to know how to handle offshore accounts. How do I don't know what to do with all the money I'm making. Help me out, right? So as they continue to talk, he's like, well, let me see what I can do. Knowing that he can do something. Y'all know Ivy. Ivy's always been very over the top, very eccentric, right? But now he's really reserved. He's got all these like bodyguards around him, like something is really about to happen. He is really now more low key. And what he told Franklin was to make sure you keep the advantage. Meaning, don't give away your advantage. Make sure you keep the upper hand. Don't share it with nobody. Make sure you always are the one in control. And I'm hoping that Franklin caught that, because he was very astute in catching, astute seems to be the word of the day, in catching that Ivy's energy has been off. Then that dumbass Leon, he gets a Uzi and a clip. Ivy's like, give him one, because he had been sitting there and he had been admiring it. Talking to one of the, what are they? What ethnicity are they? I don't want to call them the wrong things. Iranians? Anyway, they leave. Now they dumbasses. Leon is in the project shooting out street lights with the fucking Uzi. Like, I'll be thinking to myself, you gotta be one of the stupidest motherfuckers ever. Like, you got heart, you loyal, you not scared, but you stupid as shit. Then we see that young kid come up again. Now, what is his name? They have not told us yet, but I'm sure he is going to be a key player, because he really wants to be part of the crew. He really wants to get in the game. We don't know what the logic is behind it or his reasoning behind it. And Fatback pretty much gets circles ran around him because, little nigga quick. And he not afraid. Fatback got so upset he wanted to shoot the little nigga. Like, that's what happens, right? When your fat ass can't do it, or you got the underdog, or you weak, the first thing you want to do is pull out a gun and shoot somebody. Listen, fair and square, fair is fair. You called him out. Now, let's talk about Louie, and the little bit that's left with Franklin will blend in with Louie, okay? So when the scene opens up, we see Andre on the scene at Louie's. Now we know exactly why, when the scene opens up, we see Andre at Claudia's. Like, there is a murder scene, a crime scene. So now we kind of know why Louie was crying. Louie actually fucking killed Claudia. Now we understand why. Now we also understand why she went over there. Like, if y'all understood that already, then y'all should have told me, because I didn't catch that at all. Pretty much she was drowned in the tub after being extremely high. So when it was found that Louie's handprints and when Claudia's bodyguard came and said Louie was the last one to see her, Andre was like, oh, 2 and 2 together, I really want them to fall, so we're gonna go pick her up. That bitch ass nigga, excuse my language, waited until Jerome left, okay? Because Louie was distraught. I mean, that was her lover. That was her girlfriend for a long time. On again, off again, on again. And though they had their differences, she still loved her. So she was in a bit of a depression, a little bit of a bout of depression. And so Jerome left her and went to his little shop so he could do his up and up stuff. Baby, in the moment he left, Andre and the white cop, LAPD, open up. Shut your ass up. And she is visibly distraught, which tells you again that she is the one that killed Louie. There is no question. I mean, that she is the one that, you can see that she's distraught, which means she is the one who actually killed Claudia. I mean, because that's for y'all who might have had a question about it, because you wouldn't be so anxious and nervous if you hadn't done anything if you weren't responsible, if you were just there, if you just helped her shoot up. Now, she helped her shoot up, overdose pretty much, and then she probably slid in the tub and drowned. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I'm sure the further the season goes on, the more we'll know. If you have any speculations, you can let me know down below in the comments. Well, she ends up going down to the precinct and is in the interview room, and the DA and I want to say maybe the sergeant, I'm not sure who he was, or the lieutenant, somebody was like, well, we really don't have nothing to hold her on, it's circumstantial, but you can have her on a 24-hour hold, but she wants her lawyer. And you know, Andre is like, let me get a crack at her, let me try. I'm all like, this dude, I understand him not wanting his community to have any downfalls, you know what I'm saying, be downtrodden, the way that it's fastly happening in his community. But I really think that he's manipulative and conniving. But of course, he is an officer, okay? He's supposed to be, you know, infiltrating the system for his people, right? Don't seem like that to me. Anyway, they sent Andre in like he gonna be able to do something, and he is really doing his best trying to coerce Louie into talking, you know, saying, asking for her cooperation, and if you do it now, you know, it'll be better, I might can help you, you know, that old bullshit that they tell people who tend to believe it. But I'm looking like, you know what, Louie is a solid ass rock. Like, she is not going to waver, she will not falter. You are barking up the wrong tree. But in the same breath, I'm all like, she is a little distraught, and she is a little downtrodden, she is a little disheartened. Oh, her heart is broke. Maybe she's not thinking clearly or rationally at this particular moment. You know, they giving her the treatment, not letting her go to the bathroom, so she does what she knows how to do, piss in the bucket. Like, I was yelling, like, when you pissing in that bucket in the corner, because, honey, you gotta pee. Take your panties and wipe your little coochie off, because you gotta pee. It's just what it is. They holding you in there, you know, trying to low-key torture you or intimidate you without doing it so forcefully or upfront wise. I don't know if y'all agree with me or not on that. When Andre finally comes back, he comes back with some water for Louie, and of course she is thirsty, and so she drinks it and she's grateful for it, but she still ain't talking. He started talking about how he knew that Claudia used young girls and pimped them out, you know, trying to play the violin, you know, because, you know, trying to get in her soft side, you know, and it was working. I was feeling like, oh my God, she's about to crack. Oh my God, she's about to say she did it. Like, I was feeling like, oh my God, she's feeling some kind of way. He is like getting under her skin. Fortunately, the lawyer arrives. They've got 2 minutes, and so I'm all like, oh, in this 2 minutes, we're gonna apply pressure. Before the lawyer says, before she's really lawyered up and the lawyer comes in there and gets her. And when he does, he starts telling her how we have your fingerprints all over the bathroom on the needle that caused the overdose. We have an eyewitness. He begins to say how, you know, she shot her up with the drugs and put her head under the water. And that there's a witness, a Miss Norman, because you forgot to close the blinds, blase, blase. When he said a few things, one of which was you guys were arguing first, and Miss Norman can vouch for that, that's where he fucked up. That's when Louie realized, oh, you ain't got shit, because it was sounding good, and started laughing because they didn't argue. Y'all remember last episode, they did not argue. There were some words. Come on, help me out. No arguing of words. Louie starts laughing hysterically, like, you ain't got nothing, Miss Norman. Bring that bitch in here. Bring that bitch in here. Let her talk. Bring her in there, because there is no Miss Norman, because there was no argument, right? He had to infer. He had to lie so that he could try and get her to talk. You know, you got to pull stuff up that might be part of the heartstrings or something that'll grasp at you. Honey, that's why you got to listen carefully. And of course, rightfully so, like I said before, Louie is distraught. And he starts bringing up how they had a fight. Like, you beat her. It wasn't a fight, you beat her. No, they was actually going toe to toe, if y'all remember that last season. So the lawyer finally comes in and gets her. And I'm looking at Andre like he wants them all at all costs. And the funny thing is, so Andre and Franklin have this stare down through the window because Andre at this point, you know, he ain't got it. He ain't got it. He didn't get permission to be in there pretending like he's a detective either. We also saw him go and speak to his captain. And at first his captain was not interested about the new crack drug that was taking over his neighborhood. Not until he started talking about it was going to trickle down into the Coliseum where the Olympics were going to be held. The 1984 Olympics were going to be held where the white people were. Then all of a sudden he was intrigued and needed to know more. Give me more, Andre, you fucking sellout. Never mind, he not a sellout because we fucked up our people with these drugs. But because it's a show, you know, of course I am vested in fucking Franklin, okay? Now, what we saw was right before that, Franklin went up to Andre's door. It was a silent threat, my nigga. Like, you forget that I got a hold on your daughter? You forget you fucking with me? You playing with fire. Hi, Mr. Wright. What do you want? I wanted to see if Mel was here. Mel comes to the door. Did you want to go have ice cream? Like, understand that I can get to your daughter. Understand we ain't finna play this game. Leave my family alone. And then he's all like, I got you a gift, the graduation gift. She doesn't want it. Well, okay. I mean, and he's respectful, but that whole undertone was like, you fucking with me, I'm finna fuck with you. You fuck with my family, I'ma fuck with your family. To the point where, guess what? Mel ain't gonna fuck with you. To the point where you gonna be looking like how my daughter is hooked up with Franklin. How is she, you know, his main bitch living up in the mansion with him? Like, how does she know all the business? Like, he better be careful because Mel, you know, sweet girl, but he could get her. I'm just saying, the squares like them old thug ass niggas. And so the whole thing about the drugs going to the Forum and the Coliseum or whatever was after Franklin went to visit Mel. Okay, so we got two things left. One was when Drew came to re-up. Pretty much at this point, Franklin's like, I'm giving you pure coke, 2 kilos. You can do it. 2 birds is what he said. You can do it yourself. You can handle it yourself. You can cook it and everything. You get more profit. We're giving it to you for cheaper, right? And then he tells Leon again, is like, I don't trust this nigga. He was like, well, that's the whole game. We have to trust them. And I'm all like, we trust you as far as we can see you. We don't trust nobody. Everybody is coming for you. Everybody wants to be the big man in charge. So listen, it's not a thing. You can't do that. He goes and he starts to tell the plan to the family. Listen, we're going to change our game plan. We want to get to the place where we are only selling kilos. Right now we're going to keep selling rocks, but we're going to get to the place where we are only selling kilos. Like, we going to be that. We are going to be the supplier. Like, we aren't going to nickel and dime because that's how you get caught. Let's go into the big money. Listen, I'm excited. Come on, Franklin. Let's go get the big money. Let's see what's happening, y'all. Listen, that is the entire episode. This one was kind of, you know, there was some things in there that we needed. That whole Louie Claudia thing. I'm glad that we saw what really happened. I can't wait to see how that develops. I want to see how Mel and Franklin develop. Because, you know, Andre's finna do everything he can to stop him, but Franklin's finna get to his daughter. I want to see how that plays out. I'm really wanting to see how Drew double cross him, because we getting ready to see some shit. It looks like in the next couple episodes it's gonna start popping off. You know, episode 3 is normally when shit start popping off every season. Go ahead and look back and see if I'm lying. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Snowfall, season number 3, episode number 2. If you haven't done so already, go ahead. Become a ray of sunshine by clicking the red subscribe button. You're going to want to click the notification bell so you don't miss another Snowfall review. And listen, I'm going to get back to, we only on episode 2, but on episode 3, I'm going to do my very best to have it up so that you'll have it up in the morning on Thursday morning, okay? Lastly, because you like me and I know it's real, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next video.